Hello and welcome to this video series where we're checking out some missions to the Dungeoncrawler Gamejam of 2023. This time we will have a look at DMEO or something like that by TannYuld, Endercal 1012 or 1012 or 1012, machasins and Kordanor random guy 49 or something like that. You can read the names down here. And before we jump into the game, let's quickly go through the description here. Your sanity runs dry, monsters are everywhere, you don't even know where you are or who you are. Take the pill and be safe, or don't, and experience true danger. Make the choice. Find the mirror's shards and escape from the sick reality. Currently, there is a bug preventing the player from reaching the final level. This will be fixed after the jam voting ends. Yeah, disclaimer, I already played the game, tried the game once. I was a bit confused regarding, I didn't see that you could change the weapons here, and then I was kind of stuck with the bow, which didn't work, and there are some issues there, so I decided to re-record that. Yeah, but I will explain what I found also with my first impressions and so on. So let's jump into the game. And here we are in the menu. You can only use WSD, you cannot use the arrow keys or click with the mouse, so that's the thing. With controls, yes, if you only check that, you only have WSD to move, Q and E to turn. It doesn't tell you that you can also switch weapons in a specific environment, so this is a bit weird. Let's go through the credits quick. There you see that that one random guy is the name. All right, TannYuld and machasins and Endercal and some C# logo, I think. Okay, and yeah, background image has some flair of it reminds me of a German game called Mission Supernova, which was a 90s shareware adventure. But yeah, let's start a new game. And now that was my first clash with the graphics. You have this pixel graphics screen, and then you have these poly models which almost have no texture. Well, they do have a texture, but it's very rough. But it has a very different style than the main menu. It's not real. Nothing is real. The book is my only hope, my savior. And then, of course, the first impression was also the mirror is the key. Find the shards, rebuild. That the movement and the turning around is super slow, so this should also be something which needs to be speed up. Like, yeah, turning around, it probably takes like twice as much time as it should be, and for moving it's pretty much the same. You don't have enemies which you need to evade or anything like that, so there's no reason to really have slow movement. It might make sense in some real-time environments, but not in this case. I think this is kind of our sanity or something, I'm not quite sure. And here we have our mirror shards we need to collect to get to the new next level. You could hear in the background the music, or now when we picked up the book. These are kind of realistic sounding environmentalist sounds. But now when we open the door, which also sounds realistic, now you have this almost Adlib sounding sound or Game Boy that looks like it's coming from two different games. Like this realistic thing and then this Game Boy thing. So for sound, the composition doesn't really match, and this is then also true for the graphics, where you have this low pixel art main screen, you have this low poly screen with lighting and kind of, I mean, it's not like high pixel count or something, but it looks extremely smooth and polished. And then you go to the next room and it looks like, okay, these textures are yet again from another library or something. So, or the torches, it feels like these things, they don't match together at all. So I don't know if, let me check again. Yeah, I don't know how the authors are involved here, if what of this is made for the project and what's coming from externally. But I mean, the thing is, I personally like if the stuff was created for the jam. And by the way, we are running out of the stuff now. Let's see what happens. I like if that was created for the jam, but this is not a hard requirement. And what's important for me also to judge is like how this stuff fits together, right? I mean, even if you can access different libraries and so on, it should be like everything is matching together. And this is then, yeah, kind of important. So this doesn't seem to have any relevance if it's not doing anything. This is an enemy, which yet again looks different than the rest somehow. And here we get another piece of the shard. And now we're getting into combat. And we basically have to play 2 minigames. One game to attack, and this purple bar are the enemy hit points, which also is not super intuitive. And depending, the first game is then to attack. And the closer we are to the center, I think, the more damage we do. And the second game is to defend. Feed, replenish, heal. We can't go by without eating that, so let's do that. The pills keep the demons away. Yeah, I'm not sure how... That didn't seem to have any impact in the game. Maybe they are spawning more, but I also saw that the ghosts are not attacking you always, so I'm not sure. We went into this room now. There was this mirror, and I think we fixed that, and this teleported us to the second level. And now we are collecting some more shards. The shards await you. Yeah, and this is where I got really confused. Now we got a new book. And then I was thinking like, okay, how do I switch to the other book? And I didn't find, I mashed all buttons here, I didn't find that. And I didn't realize that at some button I switched the thing. Now I started the combat, and now that's the very first time which I hit with that thing. This this mini game of hitting with the bow is much more difficult than with the sword. So I would recommend to not use the bow. But let's try again and maybe you'll see the difficulty. And another thing is, I wasn't aware of how to start the combat. Like I was bashing the keys again, and at some point it just starts. And now, yeah, now you have to find the right time when they're actually going over that. But if you are really aiming for that, you will not hit it. So the first attack I actually hit by accident, so maybe you can do it that way. So I was playing this minigame maybe 4 or 5 times, and I didn't manage to change back from the bow. And then I just decided to die in that minigame. You can switch around the weapon by pressing Q and E, but this does only work when you are in this pre-fight area thing. Then you press space to start the fight, and then of course you just... These mini games are super easy, though you can die. I mean, this one is, I guess, the harder one. Okay. But there is another game called Bozo Dungeon, which has the same type. And in that game, the minigames are much harder, but the controls are also much more intuitive and smoother, I think. So that minigame is much, much easier than the bow one. The funny thing is that there is a book out here which is saying that a new book brings new power, but that's terrible. The bow is terrible to use. So yeah, now we have these demons running around here, whatever these are. They are seek yourself, find yourself, but I think only one of them is attacking. Alright. And pretty much we need to hit 2 times with the sword and then we are fine. No matter how well we are hitting. Maybe 3 at most. And you can see that I'm basically doing nothing most of the time in this minigame. Up, up, up. Alright. And we just run past. And with that, we are in the last section of the game, which unfortunately is broken. Broken, shattered, repair, replace. We need to find 12 things. The safety of home is no more. The darkness consumes the soul. Yeah, but this mechanic I didn't get any like difference. Maybe new additional enemies are spawning, but I didn't see that. Or I didn't see a problem with that. I mean, if you are in worst case you have one more fight, then okay, so be it. Yeah, I can also talk about the perspective and the controls. Maybe if we find an area which is a bit lighter. Look behind you. I'm not sure. We don't need that. I don't think that there is. It's probably meant for the shard in the pizza here, but I mean, obviously, I would have looked there anyways. There's. Oh, this is the open door, I think. Yep. Yeah, you will probably attack us. Yeah, but you can see that each time we are hitting, it's always like 80-90% or so damage. Now we got a new book. Let's test that as well. They don't want to attack us. Fine with me. More are coming. Yeah, this is more of a maze now. I haven't been here in this, or I only started this level, but I didn't play that far. Why are you reading this? I don't know. 1, 2, 3. Mm. And again, now we can use the other book. This here. Let's see what happens here. I have no idea. Maybe they need to align somehow. Ah, we are. There's an arrow here in the bottom, so we might need to travel through that. Maybe we are shooting that. Like now. Ah, okay. Now with space, I can accelerate basically. Yeah, the sword is just the best by far, I guess. The monsters come if you don't take your pills. Nom 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 nom. Uh-huh. Ah, no, I picked the bow. Yeah, okay. That was for nothing. Ah, if we use the other weapon to attack, we... No, this is, the attack is from the enemy, so maybe... So the weapon is defining how you're doing damage, what the first game is you're playing, and the monster is defining how you defend against the attack. Again. 1, 2, 3. So this enemy we have to hit 3 times basically. It was not that nice. Alright, and again. 1, 2, 3. Alright. We need 3 more shards. But as mentioned, this level is basically the end. There is, as far as I understand, this is basically something is broken after that or in that. The monsters aren't real, but the pain is. Alright. We have been here before. Yeah, we are now at 11. I don't know if we can actually find the 12th shard or if using the 12th shard isn't possible. Or the shards. Oh, okay, I haven't seen that before. So maybe that's another mini game. But we have been here. Darkness consumes the soul. Okay, this is just a normal. Okay. Oh, that was stupid. Bop, bop, bop. And that. Ah, okay. Now we will have another minigame for defending, so it will be interesting to see how strong it will be. Oh, and we have to hit that one quite often. Alright. Okay, this is a bit harder, and of course we can take quite a bit of damage here, and I almost ran into damage. Ah! Okay. Foop, foop, foop. Probably need to hit 2 more times, so that will be hard. Okay. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, we need another attack. No! Ah! Alright. And it's dead. Alright. Can we go through this door? No. Yeah, we need... Why are you reading this? Yeah, we had this already. Yeah, as mentioned, I think this is not possible, so I don't know how long we should be searching for this shard. The mirror is the only escape. Okay, let's talk about the perspective and movement. If we get some good location, yeah, this is as good as any, I guess. So usually you would guess that the position you're in is almost the one right now where you just go 1 tile forward and then you turn left, and so if you could sidestep, which you can't, well you can. So if you go forward and then can do a sidestep, which is not the case here. This is 2 tiles inside the wall. And this is because the perspective, the camera is so much at the front of the tile you're standing on. So if you're standing here, you can just barely see the wall on the left. And I think if the camera was just a little bit further back, you could see that wall fine, and it would also work better with the perspective here. Because this feels like, okay, this is just, yeah, we are standing on the tile of the wall, and just 1 tile in front of us, it's going, it's the end of the wall. And if you compare that, this is the overlay for Legend of Grimrock, you can see that, I mean, this is below the health bar, so you can't quite see, but this is the point. Yeah. Let me quickly kill that enemy, and 1, 2, 3. Okay. So back, Legend of Grimrock, you can see that this is basically the tile we're standing on in Legend of Grimrock, and then this is the next tile, this is the next tile, and this does not match at all to what you have in this game. This is Lens of Lore, again, this is the tile you're standing on, and these other tiles further down, and if you compare that, yeah, that's not really matching up. But yeah, there you can see that this tile, because it's further, the angle is different, that tile is bigger here than in Grimrock, for example, but it's still, yeah, will still be the next tile and being back till the wall. So we have one tile here where in this game we have one tile in front of us and then even 2 more tiles. So yeah, that's so here is right. This is the tile we are standing on. Then we have no, this tile we are standing on you can't even see. This is the next tile. This is the next tile, and this is the next tile. So yeah, it either way it doesn't match up. And with Grimrock again, this is a tile, the next tile, and so on. And if I move forward in the game, again forward and again forward, so it does. It's not unplayable with this setup, and the orientation is also not terrible, but it's also it can be improved. With the commands, it's a bit similar. They are also working, but they are not great. While in theory they should be. I mean, it's 2 very easy fixes in theory. Because that way you just need to pull the camera a little bit back. And with the movement, it's basically the same, because I usually test whether you can move forward and turn and whether the game is queuing that up. And this game does that, so that's great. But the turning and the moving forward is just taking so long that it feels a bit problematic walking through that. By the way, you can also queue. Oh no. You can also hold the button forward for moving. So that's also very cool. So the basics are all in there, and it's the programming work is actually done. It's just a little bit tweaking here and there to make it feel from the movement to, oh, that's great movement. So yeah, a little bit of tweaking to make it feel much better. And yeah, same can probably also be said for the combat types and so on. So before we get into the next battle, I will also leave it at that. This has been DMEO by TannYuld and the Carl 1012. Machasins and that one random guy 49. And you can find a link to the game down in the video description. And yeah, maybe the developers make a patch for that game, and at the time I'm releasing this video, in case they do a patch, if they create a patch, you will already find that, because I'm recording that at the end of April, shortly after the jam, and I don't know when I will be able to publish that. So there might be a patch already, so check out. That might have basically removed all the issues I mentioned so far. But this is the version I have to test now as a judge for the jam. So yeah. Overall, I think it's a nice entry, which also has this the theme implementation of the duality with these with the minds creating these enemies, and you have to put together this mirror to be transported over. I think it's not the strongest implementation of the theme, but it's pretty good. The basics are pretty much all there. It's just that the fine-tuning in lots of the aspects is a bit lacking. So same goes for the combat mechanic, the movement, the combat mechanics, and the graphics and the music. They are all fine. Every single component is fine in that regard. Just they are mixed together in a way that they are not leaving the best impression. They're kind of a mix mash, if that's the right word. So yeah, there could have been some more consistency. That was DMEO. And yeah, if you're interested in this game, you will find a link down in the video description, as I mentioned. If you're interested in seeing more videos about the jam, you will find a playlist in the video description with all the videos I released so far. And if you're interested in seeing more videos in general on my channel, then you can of course also subscribe, and that way you won't miss anything. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.